All right, moving on to my next topic. And if you guys are on SoundCloud, thank you for continuing to listen to me blabber about stuff. And if you're on YouTube, welcome in. We're going to talk some MLB here. Specifically, I'm going to start with the New York Yankees upon request. And I wanted to talk about the Yankees for multiple reasons. But, I'm a Cub fan, and the Chicago Cubs and the New York Yankees were involved in a trade this offseason that sent Adam Warren over to the Cubs in exchange for Starlin Castro. And I brought that up because what the Yankees have going for them, and I'm going to talk about some positive things for the Yankees because it hasn't really been positive overall. 5 games back of the wild card. They're still in it. Still in the playoff race, but they're going to have to make some decisions here soon on whether or not they want to go for a wild card spot because the AL is up for grabs. But in my opinion, I think it'd be better to kind of move forward with this roster because there's a lot of old people here. But I brought up Starlin Castro because that middle infield right now, the New York Yankees, it's pretty good. And Didi Gregorius is coming up, and he's very impressive at shortstop. Also got him in a trade. He and Castro are 2 productive players up the middle in the infield. Castro, I believe, is a better defender at second base, and Didi Gregorius is improving each and every day at the plate and defensively. Now, on the corners, Chase Headley is, well, you're going to take what you can get with Chase Headley. Mark Teixeira, he's got some stuff left in him at first base, Mark Teixeira. He can still hit when healthy. Obviously, he's going to be injured more than almost half the time. But that's frustrating. But at this point with the Yankees, there's a lot of old expiring contracts on their payroll, especially CC Sabathia I'm looking at, which is, boy, that's rough. And, Teixeira, Beltran. Beltran's an all-star. Beltran is absolutely killing it. Jacoby Ellsbury's been great for them. I'll say that. He's one of their most productive hitters in that lineup. Plays a great center field. They also got a young Aaron Hicks over there patrolling the outfield as well. But, guys, Brett Gardner, he's declining. Hasn't been good. With this Yankees team, are they a playoff team? Man, I got to say no right now. Now, this is why they have hope of getting better soon. Of course, they're the New York Yankees. 27 world championships, the most in any professional sports by a long shot. They're insane. They're so good all the time. And you know what? Also, I have to mention, 1994 to 2006, they were just division leader after division leader, winner after winner after winner. It was just always New York Yankees. They dominated that era. And they even played well enough to win another World Series pretty recently. So this New York Yankees squad kind of, a little bit removed from their last championship. But it's been a struggle. Other teams are starting to come on, like the Baltimore Orioles and the Toronto Blue Jays. It's tough for them in the division. So they got to rely on that wild card. But you guys, you're looking up at 4 other teams. It's going to be tough, or 3 other teams. It's going to be very hard for the Yankees to even come close to a wild card spot. So I think they have to make a decision. They have Aroldis Chapman, Andrew Miller, Dylan Betances. Those guys are deadly. But you need to be in a position to use them effectively. Their lineup isn't putting it together enough for them to be competitive. And their rotation is very sketchy. It's kind of upsetting when you look at what you were hoping for from Michael Pineda. Michael Pineda is not doing well at all. I mean, he started putting together his last 6 starts, I believe. It's been pretty solid, but overall, it's just, I don't know what's going on with this guy. Michael Pineda, he's having trouble getting guys out with 2 outs. I don't know what it is with this man. He just can't do it. So their rotation's very sketchy, to say the least. They're relying a lot on Masahiro Tanaka, a guy who's already had plenty of arm issues in the past. They're getting some solid production from their guys who are recognizable names, like I said. Carlos Beltran, Jacoby Ellsbury, Mark Teixeira, Didi Gregorius, as I mentioned earlier, Starlin Castro. Starlin Castro's having a very good year, but look at Alex Rodriguez. Now, I know this year's been a struggle, but last year, A-Rod was putting together some pretty impressive numbers. I mean, look at that OPS. As a 39-year-old, 850 OPS, something like that. That's impressive. It's very impressive. And he also has a chance for 700 home runs. He's very close. And I'd like to get your opinion, Yankees fans, on just your overall opinion on Alex Rodriguez, because this guy has had such a storied career. It's fascinating to me. Like when he came up with Seattle, he was one of the best hitters in baseball. And then he gets moved to Texas. And again, he is the best hitter in baseball. Look at his numbers in 2001, 2002, and 2003. He led the league in runs in 2 of those 3 years. He led the league in home runs all 3 of those years. He led the league in RBIs in 2002. It's just incredible. This guy was such a top talent. And honestly, a lot of it, the pressures of being that publicized as a Major League Baseball player, that had to take a lot of toll on him. Now, I don't want to shift this conversation over A-Rod. I just want to give it out to you guys. Is A-Rod a Hall of Famer? Because he's inching closer to 700 homers. It's just the numbers that he was able to put out throughout his career. It's admirable, extremely admirable. And I appreciate A-Rod. And I know a lot of people have opinions on this man, but he worked hard to come back, and he's 40 years old. As simple as I could put it. It's pretty crazy. But overall, I want to talk just the future of the New York Yankees. What are they going to do? Are they going to move their big arms in Andrew Miller or Aroldis Chapman? Maybe both. Because those guys can pull some significant value. What they're able to bring to a ball club, I don't know who is the better fit. I would go Andrew Miller, personally, but he would have to give up more because he's got more years of control under his belt. Aroldis Chapman had that domestic violence thing kind of hover over him, so teams may be reluctant, because you know what happens with this whole, it's bad, guys. It's not good when you're involved in some situations like that. Look at Jose Reyes. Now, Jose Reyes is a different conversation that I will save for another time, but you got to be careful with these kinds of athletes because of the baggage that they have that comes with it. Aroldis Chapman could throw the hardest. He does throw the hardest in baseball. It could be one of the best relievers in baseball, but is he worth it? You're going to have to give up some stuff for them. And what the Yankees can get in return, I think he's probably their most tradable piece. I think you can hang on to Andrew Miller because Andrew Miller might help your team over the next 2 seasons, not including this year, if they make some splashes in free agency, and I think that's what the Yankees are waiting for. They're going to have a unique opportunity to spend money, which they do a lot, because Carlos Beltran's coming off the books, Mark Teixeira's coming off the books, CC Sabathia's coming off the books. They have to make decisions on Pineda and Nova. They could come off the books, and they're gonna be lacking in starting pitching. If they want to get a starting pitcher, they might have to make a trade, because the free agency class in pitchers very limited. Unless you want a guy like Jeremy Hellickson, I mean, more power to you, but he doesn't help your team. You know, he's just a replacement level pitcher for the most part. Having a decent season this year, but he's the highlight of the free agency class in pitchers. So what are the Yankees' approach going into next year? They're drafting okay. But this is an opportunity to make smart offseason signings and really invest tons of money into top players. So we'll look forward to that. It depends. It'll be interesting. I'm sure I'll talk about the Yankees soon because I'm sure they're going to be involved in some trade talks come the deadline or maybe even sooner. All-Star break's coming up. Stuff starts happening in Major League Baseball around this time. So just stay tuned, all right? Because this was just a little short synopsis of what I see of the Yankees so far this season. Do I think they're a playoff team? No. Are they in a unique situation to get better? Yes, very much so. They have talent that they can move for value, and they're going to have a lot of money coming off the books going into next year's offseason where they can invest. They have to be smart about it. But the Yankees can be relevant once again very soon.